Alright, that's enough of that. Links have been posted, and we're ready to go.
Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 23 of Left for Random Talk.
Yep. In case anybody is curious, we turned up our volumes a little bit. If there's a problem, please let us know. For the love of all, let us know if there is any audio issues. We keep asking and nobody ever says anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello, the Elementalist.
Oops, hold on. Let me type something out real quick.
Yep. Yeah, so we were supposed to have this show on Thursday. I don't know what happened. But 2 towns in my county, which is just a group of 3 little towns, 2 of them completely lost net connection, and only 1 town actually had connection. Nobody was happy. So I was completely dead from 2 a.m. till 4 a.m. on Friday. Not literal.
Yes. Well, as you can imagine, it was just, it was pretty much a nightmare. And of course, unfortunately, because of that, a lot of our topics might be a bit out of date or have recently been changed since then. So, speaking of our topics, let's get right into it. Today's topics are of the following: toxicity and game management. Telltale has come to a self-destructing end. What does this mean for the community? Should we support the company or the groups made from laid-off creators? I say support the creators, not Telltale. Battlefield 5's extremely low pre-orders forces devs to work on authenticity over current political BS. Revs reviews. Bleach the live-action movie. Feels like a B-movie, but trying to honor the source material. Disney admits they went too far with Star Wars. Possible end for Kathleen Kennedy? Update. Nope, she's still around. Fuck. Spyro, reignited trilogy. Our thoughts on it all. Comic artist lawsuiting a Marvel writer. Mark Waid versus diversity in comics. And finally, DevStream 117. Minor updates, a lot of Railjack info, the animal hunting now works, and showing off the kit guns.
Yay.
Quite the meaty topics as expected. Excuse me.
I believe I watched the dev stream.
Yes, it was quite interesting. But let us get right into the cancer that is tonight, and let's talk Telltale.
Yeah, so this actually has an article on Polygon. The link is already there. I decided to add it ahead of time. But essentially, if I can just piece together, just kind of skim through it and get the better meaty details, Telltale was not really realizing just how much of a success their Walking Dead game was going to be. And once it was a success, they started growing and expanding, and it got stressful, it got crazy, and essentially they worked their creators till they had completely burnt out. And once those guys were burnt out, they were laid off, and a massive group of new creators were pulled in, worked until they were burnt out, then they laid them off. And it's just this endless, horrible cycle.
Not to mention that I did look into this, and Telltale has in fact violated the law, specifically because they did not pay employees overtime and laid them off the day of, and not giving them a few days' notice. They've actually violated a workers' law, which now entitles the creators they've laid off to issue the lawsuit, which we are seeing now.
I believe some of the Telltale creators, they went off and made their own amazing, beautiful games. One of them was Firewatch, I believe.
Yes, I believe they were ex-Telltale developers.
Yeah. I've never really seen anything of the game, unfortunately. Yeah, Firewatch and
I have
Oxenfree. Those were the two games.
I have seen Firewatch. It feels amazing, specifically because you think it's some sort of horror game, but the reality is it's not.
Yeah.
It's literally somehow they've managed to what's the word? Recreate the sense of horror, but it's all in your brain.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That said, what Telltale has been doing has been, well, let's say less than we would have hoped. I had actually predicted that Telltale was going way too overboard with a lot of these same games, different layout, and it shows. It really does show. Not only did they focus all their attention on other sources and try to make them into walking sims, it basically just made people not interested because the big thing was, as I've noticed, a lot of these stories that they were telling were quite the same to one another. It was always your choices really didn't matter in the big scheme of things, and things outside of your control always seemed to happen.
Oh god, it's like uh my only concern about the fall of Telltale is Minecraft story mode.
They've already talked about selling the rights to the Minecraft story mode to Netflix, and they're going to turn it into a series.
Yeah, but here's my concern about it. The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, all these games from them, Jurassic Park, they're great games, but they're like meant for adults and teenagers.
Mm.
Minecraft Story Mode was catered to a younger audience, and for like a younger kid to hear that this story mode game that is really nice, kind of pathetic and weak in the dialogue between characters, is a really cool game is not going to continue. All because of what all because of what Telltale has done and what's going down with them.
Yes. Not only that, but if they were to get this into a series, even when they get this into a series, here's something that you have to consider. How are they going to address all the different outcomes from these games into a series without pissing everyone off?
Oh boy.
You see, this has been the problem that Telltale has had to deal with ever since they first started these uh, these choose your own adventure style stories, and it's been an issue with I would say after The Walking Dead, really, where a
Yeah.
lot of these choices really didn't build up to anything. In fact, the reason why I stopped watching the Telltale Walking Dead games was because I enjoyed the first season. Don't get me wrong; it was good. It was emotional. I felt like this was a labor of love, and actually, I could get into The Walking Dead at long last. But it was only after the events of season 2 where it was really obvious that a lot of these choices you were making were so superfluous, it might as well not have been um, needed, you know? And it was just telling, really. They had no plan moving forward, and they really realized they screwed the pooch when trying to make a pick your own situation. For example, it's like if someone gets bit, your first instinct is to, lop off the section that they get bit on. And this happened to a character in the second season. Only after you do that, she just winds up stumbling back and getting killed by zombies. Again, it took that whole choice of I've saved this person's life, only for them to quite literally die seconds in.
Yeah.
It just became after that, I was done with it. I was disinterested with anything of The Walking Dead. And it only got worse with like the Game of Thrones game they created, which also basically just took all the choice away from you and just resulted in the same kind of bullshit, really. No matter what you picked, it always seemed to come up short. There was never any point to what choices you did. and it only got worse from there. I think the only ones that actually made things interesting was The Wolf Among Us and the Batman game they released.
Mm.
Those were pretty interesting, especially because of the situation. It was the minute things, really. I mean, The Wolf Among Us was a detective story at the end of the day, so you kind of just went, you went for it, and it didn't really matter if your choices weren't impactive or not. You were more investigating, more so than trying to prevent something. And at the end of it all, the ending really did change based on your actions. And things really, at the end, I think they did try to make all your choices matter as much as they could in The Wolf Among Us. And the Batman one, I mean, it's Batman. You really can't screw up too much with it. In quotations here.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I mean, I admit I like some of the ideas they did, like preventing someone from getting disfigured and then becoming a villain, but they still become a villain anyways, so what the fuck? It was minute things that made it worth it. But, oh, sorry about that. But it's like, yes, it's my lawyer. He's telling me to shut up.
Yes,
No.
we just got a call from Telltale. We're all got a hit on us. Wonderful.
Exactly.
Yeah,
From a
no.
dying company. Amazing.
Yeah. But I actually stopped. Like, I was never interested in the Walking Dead Telltale games. I loved the Jurassic Park one, and obviously Minecraft Story Mode. But it was after the oh god, it's like which episode would it be? It's the one where they're stuck in that mansion with like Captain Sparkles, like quite literally Captain Sparkles.
Oh, I heard it. I didn't see it, but I know what you're talking about.
It's just I stopped watching and paying attention to the Minecraft Story Mode after that one, because after that one, it just didn't feel right. Like something in the game had shifted, and I started to
Ex-
watch all the episodes, like some of the episodes afterwards. I know it's just, oh my god, it's the exact same thing from the first one. Like in the first one, you get to choose who are you going to save, the girl or the legendary hero. Obviously, you save the legendary hero. They know what the heck they're doing. But in the episode after the mansion, you get to pick. Do you save this friend or that friend? It's the exact same chick that you were asked to save in the first episode.
Exactly. And this is the problem with Telltale. They just throw the same kind of choices at you in a vain attempt to make you feel like something's happening. And it feels like they're just ticking the boxes off a check mark at that point.
Yeah. Uh,
It just good.
One of the Let's Players I watched do the Minecraft Story Mode was from the Yogscast. I believe it was Hannah. And throughout the entire game, she started cussing at it because she already realized very quickly that everything is going to be a repeated gag. Everything. From the
Hmm.
big guy falling down on the the misinterpreted bully, quote unquote, to Ruben disobeying. Poor Ruben. To your girl, like the girl in the group, always doubting herself and never ever seeing the positives, even if things go right. Like I understand where she's coming from, but still, it gets a little grating to not appreciate the good times. Uh, all the way to obviously the choices that you make.
Exactly. And this is just what leads into. This is basically what I would say is what led Telltale to eventually just fall as it did. Because at the end of the day, people weren't interested in following the same stories when the same stories just basically, are a repeat of what we just went through
It's
with
like
little to no change.
it's like it's like you have this. I'm trying to figure out how to word this correctly without saying weird, but like, let's say you're an artist and you want to make a sculpture, but you need like a skeletal frame. There's like, you have repeated manufactured skeletal frames for this structure, and even if you make a different looking statue, it's always the exact same pose, the exact same look. What Telltale has done is they are using the skeletal structure, which is the mechanics of the game itself. Save this person or that person, make your choice. This person will remember, but it's not going to do anything. And they're just
Exactly.
slapping new clay on it.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, it's just a repeat. Every single game is effectively the repeat of the one you played previously. At that point, why bother paying for the next one? Especially if at the end of the day, your choices don't matter effectively.
Yeah.
It just becomes this constant cycle of, hey, this is what it is, and then. I mean, nobody wants to watch that. Nobody's interested in watching that.
Yeah.
Still, what's happened? But to go back to what's happening right now, the lawsuit that's happening, Telltale has basically tried to quote unquote reassure the fans that they will continue to what's the word? They will continue to release the content for the final season of The Walking Dead. And this is what a lot of people are worried about, is that, okay, so you're basically giving this off to another group of people you're probably going to hire, but then how are they going to make it? Are you going to basically invade your previous employees' privacy to get the information off the hard drive so these people can finish it? Or are you going to let them build everything from scratch and have it be worse than it would be just delayed? Honestly, and especially with this lawsuit going on, the smart thing for Telltale to do is basically cancel the final season temporarily, refund everyone who paid the season pass to get the final season of the Telltale Walking Dead, and then use that money to deal with the lawsuit. And then from there, if the company's still standing, which is highly doubtful,
Did you read the
then
part that
really.
says update?
Hmm?
Did you read the part that says update
Where?
on the article?
No. What is happening?
I'm gonna quote this, and again, this is coming from like Polygon.com. They even had their own YouTube channel with the McElroy brothers playing on it. I believe it's Griffin McElroy and stuff from the Adventure Zone. To quote, update: Telltale may be able to fight the lawsuit on the basis of a federal WARN Act, but it will likely have a tougher time defending its actions according to the California version of the law.
Yes. This is what I remember.
And this part is actually coming from Game Daily. Kudos to them.
Yeah, but that was the lawsuit the law I was trying to, what's the word? That was the law I was trying to reference
Mm.
in the what they've violated. Basically, it can be a lot worse, especially for the what's the word? Especially for the for Telltale moving forward, and they know it. Because again, this law is put in place to keep things like this from what's the word? To keep oh god, what's the word I'm looking for here?
For like the sake of the
To keep
workers, to keep them going.
yes,
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, sorry about that. I had a moment.
that's alright.
Yes, but that's basically what the lawsuit is designed for, to protect the workers from being screwed over by a company that decides to fire the entire oh god, what's the word? From basically removing an entire group, and then now we can do whatever the hell we want because me.
Like, the thing is, what they're doing is that they're hiring new talent every time they lay off their creators. What these guys are doing is an inhumane version of replacing a graphics card, essentially. Like, when you have a computer, you take off all the parts that have been spent, and then you add in shiny new parts. These guys are doing that with people. They're taking out the
Exactly.
worn out, spent, used till they're practically dragging themselves on the ground creators, throwing them out, and then adding in younger, fresher talent to put them through the same fresh hell.
Exactly. And this alone is something that basically, again, is against the law.
Mm-hmm. It is very much against the law.
Yeah, so in all honesty, Telltale has, I believe the creators have the legal right to basically take Telltale to court and put an end to this.
Yep.
And honestly, if they have, and we know that many of them have broken off. So honestly, expect to see more Telltale style games that aren't from Telltale, especially if these devs continue on their own path.
Yeah.
Still, as for, the future and all this shit, again, it's obvious how Telltale fell. They just decided to, they got addicted to that fresh hype train of money, and then rather than taking their time and keeping the company focused on one thing at a time, they just started cranking out more and more of the same, and well, eventually people's good graces run out.
They essentially, that character from Dishonored 2, he's not a wealthy guy from the beginning, but suddenly he just gets a mountain of money. And while he still cares about the workers that he represents, he still wants to impress the rich people, so he just buys and buys and buys, just fancifying his house for the sake of it with no real reason. That's essentially what happened with Telltale here.
You mean Gemdosh?
No, Telltale.
Exactly.
Oh,
No,
yeah, him, yeah. No.
Jindosh.
It's the guy that represents the miners.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, hi, Liam. But this is essentially what has happened with Telltale. They made the Walking Dead game, and they weren't expecting it to just explode in popularity. And because of this, they decided, okay, we got to keep going and going and going and going. These guys are tired. Screw it. Get rid of them. Let's keep going and going and going.
Yes. And this eventually leads into what happened here.
Yeah.
And of course, because people are so tired of these walking simulators and having their choices no longer matter in the grand scheme of things, it eventually just leads into people just leaving, and has led to what has basically happened. Telltale losing money. Because despite firing all its employees like this, they've also been losing money because they keep releasing the same game with a different skin on it. Same art style, same mechanics, same everything. In fact, the only game of Telltale I think looks visually distinct from the other games they release is, ironically, the Minecraft game.
Well, yeah.
Because it doesn't have that comic book style that they've basically at this point used to death.
You do know that Telltale declared bankruptcy.
Either
right?
way, Telltale loses, and I can't help but feel a bit sorry for the fans of these games. Like the stories that are basically going to be left untold till until some. Go ahead.
You can hear me, right, guys?
I can hear you, Liam. Rev, are you able to hear him?
No.
Okay.
Okay. I'll drop this here and you tell him, H.
But that could be because I have selective hearing.
But basically what happened was Telltale, they did fire their employees, but also the company has actually declared bankruptcy.
I think he's muted.
And
he's talking about how Telltale has declared bankruptcy.
So
yeah,
technically,
I was going to mention that as well.
Technically, that since they declared bankruptcy,
so this
they
is
lose
what kind
rights
of brought
to their
out the
IPs.
whole.
Hold on, stop. Both of you, stop. Rev or Liam, leave the call and come back and see if you can hear each other.
All right, give me a moment.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
No, he's still muted for. Hold on, let me try something.
He's not muted for me.
All right, try that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear him now. Okay, that was weird.
Okay, so anyways, what I was saying though was, Telltale declared bankruptcy and everything, which means they technically no longer have the rights to the IPs, which means that potentially if someone were to buy up the IP, there could potentially be more Telltale games. And people are offering these people who are veterans of the industry, veterans of not just the industry, but who have come up with these ideas, jobs right out the gate. They're like, yo, we know what happened is sucky and shitty and all this jazz. We got a place for you if you want.
True, but it also falls to the copyright holders of these IPs as well. Because remember, nothing Telltale ever created is original to them.
Mm-hmm.
Story-wise, no, but at the same time, people can potentially buy the rights to the IP for like the games, but then they'd have to go to the people who originally came up with the idea for like permission, basically saying, "Yo, can we, try and continue this game series?"
Well, that, and also they have to talk to, again, like Batman, they have to talk to Warner Brothers and all these other people. It's a problem of everybody. What is it? It's basically like Telltale was basically an artist who requested if they could draw somebody else's art, basically, or characters, basically. That's the thing.
And got permission.
Not enough Indians.
Yes. The only thing I would say is original to Telltale is the game. Jesus Christ, man.
Every night they drop the remote. Just carry on.
Okay. But the thing about it is that the only thing that Telltale has permission of or has the rights to is their game mechanics, the whole how the games work, how they function, all that kind of thing. Technically, that's the only thing they have the rights to. Meanwhile, those who have the original IPs, again, Batman, The Walking Dead,
Borderlands,
Wolf Among Us, etc., these all belong to different companies and studios. So if a different company were to, in a hypothetical sense, recreate what these games, wanted to purchase what these games story was, hypotheticals aside, it would come down to the wire of, sure, they could probably get them, but all this shit, like I said, it's just one gigantic
fustercluck.
No, it's more like it's one gigantic mess of litigations and copyright holding, and like I said, that's what's going to be the big issue about this. I don't doubt for a moment that once Telltale crashes to the ground and the company is fully dissolved, and then other people, the devs and everyone move away, and somebody else offers them positions, it's going to be an issue of securing the rights to everything again. And that might take more time, more money, and all that stuff. The only thing I think they could be able to kind of get people or to get the copyrights legally would be if they showed off what they could do with their newer or original IPs, like the Firewatch game.
Yeah.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Or Oxenfree. That was another one.
Or Oxenfree.
So I'm about to go kick Mirak's ass on this character.
Okay.
Right. Anyway.
So, heads up, if they're screaming about how shit is unfair, you know what's going on.
All right. I think we've covered everything that
Well,
has to be said.
To answer like the question in the topic, support Telltale or the offside creators. Support the creators that branched off, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, because they honestly, as far as I know, none of them have been like causing shit with the fans or insulting them or anything of that nature. So,
nope.
As far as I know, the creators deserve every bit of support in the sense they need, especially to make new games similar to The Walking Dead and so on.
Yeah.
So yes, support them.
One thing that I think really needs to happen is The Walking Dead needs to get its final season.
No, I would agree with that, but with the lawsuits ongoing and the fact that the company at Telltale is basically dissolving itself, I don't think releasing The Walking Dead now would be a smart move.
Well, not right now, but obviously down the line later. I'm just saying, like, that would be something that me and quite a lot of other people would love to see.
They quite literally owe them at this point.
Unless Telltale acknowledges the fact that they can't deliver and do the smart thing of refund everyone who had who bought the season pass for this, which I doubt they're gonna do.
Depends. Some people have done that kind of thing and it works for them. Other people have kind of fucked themselves into oblivion. Telltale is on the
latter
end. And...
Yes. Again, they're going the Gearbox route of, well, fuck.
Yep. Oh, right, that takes care of that topic.
Yes, and we continue the stream of negativity here. Moving on to Battlefield 5.
I have no say in this. I liked Battlefield 1948, and that was it.
So basically, recently, I should say, Battlefield 5 was announced a little bit way back in the day. Like, we're talking several months, I want to say. Or several months ago, I want to say.
It's not way back in the day, all things considered.
Like way... I mean...
as far as the years go.
Yes. But basically, what DICE... I believe it's DICE.
Depends. Different companies or different divisions of the companies do different things. It really depends on who's in charge of it.
Well, either way. So basically, the guys who are creating it have basically thrown out any sense of artistic, of origin. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Originality?
No. Okay, what was the word I wrote down? Hold on. Yes, any authenticity of a World War II shooter. And it basically just gone off the deep end and started just adding shit in that never happened in World War II.
Well, do that kind of thing.
No joke, when I saw the Battlefield 5 trailer, I honestly believe this was some kind of spin-off, crazy alternate universe shit going on, like some weird Fortnite thing. But then I discovered later on that in reality, no, it's basically their World War II shooter. And I actually had to ask, okay, is this like alternate reality or some weird shit like that? But no, basically, to put it like this, they wanted to have their cake and fuck it too.
Well, to be fair, Tumblr likes to put up posts of people with pumpkins, so I don't doubt it.
Well, it basically just became more and more of a mess with just putting in people that didn't belong in World War II. We're talking like just a bunch of people who'd never fought in these fronts and just a lot of shit like that, basically. Yeah. And people didn't like it. People got pissed off and people just began to mock the ever-loving shit out of this game. For example, the joke of, like, one of the big lead in huge quotations is the woman with the prosthetic arm, and oh, look how important and bad is it, yada yada yada. So then one of the running jokes was, okay, so where are the soldiers in wheelchairs running in with rolling in with guns strapped onto the sides of the vehicle?
You're a horrible person for making that joke, and I hope you
I
burn in
didn't
hell
say
for
that.
it.
I didn't say that, mind you. That's what everybody else began to joke as, just making memes and jokes of that nature, just to mock DICE for what they were doing.
Oh yeah.
And it just became worse and worse, and then DICE basically devolved into doing the modern day political BS and started attacking the fan base, started attacking the fans, insulting them as per usual, yada 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 yada.
That's a secret, and I just got tentacle slapped.
And you can imagine that people didn't like it. So of course, as the months went by, bless you, they continued to mock the fans, and then began to throw authenticity, history, all this shit out the window for, you know, those typical, oh, look at me, I'm such a good person because I'm blah 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 blah. Finally, when it came time for pre-orders, they were through the floor. Like, we're talking, nobody was pre-ordering the game, not only because people were pissed off at DICE basically mocking and insulting them, but also because apparently the guy, one of the CEOs of the company basically said, if you don't like it, don't buy it. And then people said, all right, then we're not going to buy it. And it shows. It really shows.
Give it time.
Well, funnily enough, give it time. Time did happen. They basically have completely gone back on everything they've done and said and decided, okay, let's get rid of the modern day political BS we're doing, and instead let's actually make an authentic World War II shooter.
And let's be real here. Everyone's tired of the fucking modern day, so on and so forth, and so they either look for you go back a little bit, try something like how it used to be. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Or you go screw it and go full bore off into the sunset, for lack of a better term.
Pretty much. And this is the thing. I have nothing against. I've looked into World War II. I've looked into a lot of the people who fought in them. So whenever people say, "Oh, there were like these kind of people and these kind of people here," it's like, yes, they were, but the battles and the fronts they were a part of were nowhere near this.
Yep.
You know?
Is that a bug? That is a bug.
So again, what's happening now with Battlefield 5, it is going to fail colossally. And this is just yet another slap in EA's face that basically says, hey, fucking stop.
Yeah. I only like Battlefield 1948 because of the music, to be honest. And also my dad enjoyed it, so in turn I liked it, because I like it when my dad's happy.
Yeah, Dad is awesome.
Yeah, I still need to get him Diablo 3. I keep forgetting to order it.
Quick question, does he play a computer or what?
Computer.
Okay.
I don't like first-person shooters that use real world wars, like wars that have actually happened either in the present or the past, and make a game out of it. I mean, I guess in like some aspects, if you tilt your head and squint, it can be educational, but at the same time, it just never feels right, ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like it.
Go ahead. It only becomes educational when the people behind the game actually give a damn about preserving history.
Yeah.
And in the case of Battlefield 5, they really don't give a shit. And these are the kinds of games I agree I despise, because it trivializes a conflict. and disrespects everyone who fought in it.
I have extra distaste for it. My dad's dad flew in that war, and he's like the only family member that I knew who fought in that war. And he was like the funniest guy I knew. And I still kick myself in the ass for not asking him and talking to him about it before he passed. So I have definite distaste for World War II video games. I don't like it. I really don't.
And what's worse is that a lot of the people who fought in that conflict are dying off, basically. And especially in this time, this gives publishers and games makers who don't give a fuck to basically rewrite history as they want. And in case of, again, DICE and Battlefield 5, this is their attempts at rewriting history, since basically, hey, half of the people who actually fought in this conflict are dead and buried, so who's to say we're not wrong in this case? And if that's the case, it's just disgusting.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, I'm hoping this fails just so that way DICE and EA suffer because of it.
Well, DICE is... I will say this. DICE is actually relatively decent. They have their fuck-ups, case in point. But relatively speaking, they're one of the poor bastards that are stuck under EA. They have to follow the orders from the top.
Yes, and
so
again,
it's basically everything coming down from EA to be a piece of shit. So,
yeah.
In other words, fuck EA even more.
Yeah, but again, soon enough, they're not going to be a thing if these lawsuits go through.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also a problem, because then you lose a whole shitload of companies.
Well, then this is their opportunity to basically branch off and revive again, like phoenixes from the ashes.
Not in this case, buddy. Trust me. When a company is a big company goes under and they had a bunch of other companies with them, those go too. People, because it's basically, free food for everyone else in the market.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
companies these days like that don't last long.
Sure.
It's kind of the same reason why the guys who made Titanfall and Titanfall 2 did get bought by EA, but the alternative was fucking Nexon. And let me put it to you this way. You think EA's bad? Nexon is 1,000,000 times worse.
I can only imagine.
It's not pretty.
Mm.
Anyway, moving right along. So I guess we've basically covered all we had to do with Battlefield 5 and EA. Again, I would go more into detail, except people would go freaking crazy and start calling us every name under the sun, and I just don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, those dickheads can go check a bag of dicks.
You can eat a whole bag.
Yeah, nowadays they would very happily do it and continue.
Yeah. Yes. All right. I guess we're moving on to the next one.
Yep.
And this is, I guess this is like a thing I'm doing nowadays. Revs reviews, I suppose.
Yeah, God.
I kind of wish I had like my own little musical score or something.
Give me time, I probably could if you really want me to do that.
Motherfucker, you're doing the fucking Mario thing. Fuck off, Liam.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
No. So we're going right into Revs reviews, and that is the Bleach live-action movie.
I'm gonna mute myself for this because I have nothing to say.
All I have to say is it's probably as bad as everyone thought it was going to be.
Oh no! Here's the crazy shit about the live-action movie.
Oh my god! Did they actually make it good, or is it so bad it comes around as good?
It honors the source material of Bleach, and it attempts to recreate the entire first season in movie format. Unfortunately, it's very obvious that they did not have enough. Were not given a large enough budget.
Oh god! It's so bad. It's good.
It's good all the way up until the end point, unfortunately. It's
So
one of those movies.
So it guy next.
Yeah, pretty much. The
I
basic...
am both sad and happy that you know what that term means.
Am I gonna finally be able to start my fucking review, or are you just gonna keep jumping in my throat?
Kinky. Go ahead.
Fuck off. Alright, so the whole movie itself is... It basically attempts to retell everything from season 1 of the Bleach anime in a live-action movie format. They attempted to make all the characters look as close as humanly possible to their anime counterparts,
Good luck with
for
that
better
hair.
or for worse. What?
I said,
Well,
good
I
luck
was
with that hair.
actually, funnily enough, they did better than most. In fact, I'm gonna send some things to HH, and she can put it up on there.
And send it to me too, would you?
And you can, we have the stream open.
Well,
You
see,
could go
I'm
ahead.
also gaming at the same time, so
I know, I'm fucking
I
with
am
you.
on Das Potato.
That's potato. All right, fine.
Oh my god, that sword.
Yeah, I'm calling it now. That had to be like, it's
Well,
not real. It can't be real metal, but it has to be like some sort of hard plastic or something.
let me see.
Aluminum, very likely.
Oh,
Yeah.
They could have got Michael Cthulhu.
Michael Cthulhu. Here, I'm gonna send it to you in private. Fucking hell, I have to do the. Hold on. It's always weird that way.
Gotta shrink that down a little bit. That's weird.
Shrink it down. Shrink down him and his weird hair.
Wow, that's really fucking accurate. Holy
Afferent.
fuck.
Let's go with it. Afferent.
I was combining words by accident, but like
Mhm.
the sword looks accurate to what it was in the first season. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Or
Like I
I mean
said,
like first season to live action, and let me zoom in on this picture.
Let me zoom in. I need to count this hair.
Well, no, I'm just looking at it like in like if they got the color relatively close.
Yeah, they did as much as
close
possible.
they can for real life. Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah. Of course, it kind of leads into.
Oh god, am I about to see something that is going to make me want to claw my face off?
No, but basically every other character, again, they try to make as close as possible. It's the hollows that they went a bit weird on.
Oh, dear.
They made them more animalistic than in the anime.
Well, see, in Bleach, there are actually quite a few animalistic hollows. As weeby as this sounds, I did read and watch Bleach, so yeah.
But they also have pants for some reason. You can actually see one with pants.
Depends on the hollow, but potentially yes.
It's honestly some weird next level shit, if you ask me.
And let me take a peek.
Yes, I admit the hollows look realistic. They're CGI, obviously.
Not Broadway, but
they're CGI, obviously, but they're all very much like close to a realistic kind of thing.
As you could expect. I don't recognize that fucker, but at the
No,
same
all
time,
the hollows shown in the live action are not recreated from any of the others. It's literally
they're not from the actual show.
The only one that is from the show is the last one they kill, and that's the Fisher type, or the one with the lure.
I was about to say the big motherfucker with the sword, or no?
No, the one with the lure.
Oh.
And they made him just basically a living mass of hair.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, there was a friggin' hollow that was basically just a mass of hair on a body.
It is, but they actually, when they first revealed the creature, it was literally just a ball of hair.
Hairball.
For some reason.
Yeah, hairball. Sorry.
For some reason.
Joke.
However, that said, here's the weird thing. The anime is relatively bloodless. None of the hollows bleed when they're cut. It's just smoke for some reason.
It's not until you get to like the Arankars or anything, or any of the more advanced hollows that bleed.
Yeah. In fact, most of them just look quite odd. And of course,
I remember that fucker.
It also leads into what was I going to say? Also, the mask designs are very clearly more Japanese inspired rather than the Italian/Hispanic inspired masks from the anime.
Well, it depends mask to mask.
Depending on the type, I was
Thank
gonna
you.
say.
I was about to ride you for that one.
Mm-hmm. But no, what I mean is that in the anime, they look more kabuki-esque than they do in the anime, is what I meant to say.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, but basically every character is designed to look as close to their anime. Anime counterpart. Unfortunately, this also leads into extreme crunch. There is a total of 3 fights that happens, and it's just sped through really quickly, unfortunately.
Why am I? Oh god damn it! It's volleyball.
And of course, this leads into, like I said, the anime crunch, down for the movie, yada yada. And unfortunately, it leads into what was I gonna say? It eventually leads into this whole it leads into this whole issue of a lot of character development is kind of thrown out the window, unfortunately.
Oh, the constraints of time.
Yes, it was very obvious that they didn't have enough budget or money to, really put the sets in. A lot of the sets are reused in different areas, which is also kind of a pain. You can
at least
you can tell. Go ahead.
I was about to say, from the sounds of it, at least they didn't full-blown Gynax it.
Yeah, and of course, like I said, it was just a big thing. I'm not saying it was squandered.
In comparison to the Dragon Ball Z movie,
it's better than the Dragon Ball Z movie. However, there's a caveat, mind you. If you weren't a fan of Bleach, you're not gonna like it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where it's like, if you liked Bleach, go ahead and give it a peek. You may or may not like it afterwards, but
However, that said, I need to bring this up as well. The end of the movie is basically it was clear they ran out of time and money and didn't have confidence in the project. So basically it just ends. Everything that leads up into the second season of Bleach is completely cut out of the end of the movie. The main character's mind is wiped, so he forgets everything that happens. Rukia and the others leave to the Soul Society, yada yada yada. It just ends that way. Yeah. Complete and total dead stop. That's why I said, this is why I said it's good up until that last few minutes of the movie.
Where they Gynax it.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate.
I'm sorry for using the term over and over, but it's the best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm. Again, I'm not going super into detail with this review, mostly because, again, it's all in season 1 of the first anime. It really is. The only things that they do differently is the big furball is the big bad of this movie. They reference other species of hollow, but you never see them, like the Menos Grande. And that's about it. Everybody else just kind of gets the mind wipe treatment. And it ends like, again, this feels like, the ending feels like, what if Bleach wasn't popular? And it just ended like that. That's what it felt like. A B-level anime that had 1 season to go off on, and that was it.
Well, there are actually a few animes that are actually really good that only got the one freaking thing, but ended up failing because of external things.
Yeah.
With a good number of them.
That's what this movie feels like.
It's like, oh yeah, it was a good run, but then blah.
It feels like an alternate reality where Bleach was just a 1-season show. That's what it feels like. It's like looking into that.
Okay, where the
now do I think that this movie will have a sequel or did well enough to get one? More or less. There is enough in this movie that it was good, but not enough to get a sequel, because it basically just finished. It literally killed off its own opportunity for a sequel. And again, it's obvious that they didn't have any confidence that this would reach far enough. So that's kind of sad.
Oh god, I'm going to melt.
So what do I recommend this movie to people who would be fans of Bleach? Yes, but expect disappointment is what I have to say. Other than that, it's a movie you can live without watching.
Popcorn
And
flick.
exactly, it is one of those popcorn flick kind of movies, unfortunately. That also said, I need to bring something up. The entire time they used a set for the city, they had to reuse sets a lot. And during those times, they went to a place called Bob's Burger half the time. And there was always a sign there that said, "Try the new crispy burger." And I could only think of one thing. This is fucking advertisement, isn't it? Subliminal to eat at this one fucking restaurant.
Well, there is also the show Bob's Burger.
Also that, but still.
No.
The entire time.
No.
The
No.
entire. What?
The Bob's Burgers thing has actually been around since early Looney Tunes. It's a
yeah.
gag that shows up in every single cartoon. Bob's Burgers. There's even now a cartoon that's named Bob's Burgers.
You know, HH is actually right.
Yep.
Mhm.
Why is my question not...
Still, the joke is the entire time they kept going there, I couldn't stop looking at the fucking crispy burger, and my only desire was, God damn it, I want to try that.
The case where fantasy food is so goddamn good.
This whole movie was the entire time I was watching it, and the entire time they came back to that one McDonald's looking place, I kept seeing that fucking sign, and I kept saying, God damn it, I want that burger.
Well, I mean, there's.
Oh no,
McDonald's.
sorry, it wasn't.
Oh,
Wait, hold on. I think I found a scene with the. No, I think it's like Robert's Burger or something weird like that.
Nick Roberts Burger.
I don't know. Like hold on. This scene, the screenshot of the movie for the final fight, has that restaurant in the background is the one that's the place they always go to. That's it, right there.
Let me take a peek at this. Merci beaucoup.
The hell?
Yeah, it's like you see, it's like a McDonald's looking place, and my only thought is, I want to eat there. God damn it, it looks nice.
It's less McDonald's, more Burger King, because Burger King has an actual burger for their logo.
Yeah, Burger King / Smash Burger.
Mm-hmm.
Or Five Guys.
Still, this whole movie. But I need to say this as well. The entire last scene of the movie takes place in this small town area, but you revisit it throughout the movie as well. But it doesn't feel natural. It feels like they had no other choice, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Nope, autosave. God damn it.
Anyway, other than that, like I've already made my piece on this. Movie's worth the watch if you're a fan, but again, expect disappointment.
And
This is-
like I said, oh, go ahead.
I was about to say, and this has been Rev's Reviews.
Another way to describe this movie, like even if you're a fan or not, it's a movie to watch while you're high.
Also, especially when you see the crispy burger half the goddamn time.
Yeah, that means it's a great movie to watch when you're high or drunk.
Oh god.
Like sometimes there are movies that you actually enjoy more when you're not really yourself.
Yeah, I will admit that. I'm just gonna drop this here now. What was it? Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
Ugh.
Do you know where the hillbillies are actually decent people and all that stuff?
Oh god.
I'm just gonna say this here. It's not for the faint of heart, first off.
Yeah.
Second off, if you watch that shit drunk or high, I applaud you.
By the way, we are not encouraging you to do drugs or to drink or anything. No,
I'm just saying.
There are movies and TV shows for you to do that.
Yeah. First off, if it's legal where you're at, by all means, it is your own inclination. But otherwise, if you are drunk or high and you watch this movie, oh my God's almighty.
Something tells me you've done this from experience.
Okay. I did it after a half a bottle of good whiskey. You remember that night?
Where you were talking like David Tennant? Yeah.
No, that wrong one. I'm talking about the one before it.
Aggressive apologizing.
Yes.
Aggressive apologizing.
I've said this on the street, but I've said this on the street before. But like, Liam and I play in D&D groups, and like my first character, my first time playing D&D, playing D.
No, it was second character.
No, it was my first. It was my first. Oh wait, no, yeah, it was my second.
It was Toby, yeah.
Yeah.
We got into a bit of an argument character-wise, and it's like, I'm sorry. And then afterwards, next day, I got visited by my grandmother and great aunt.
Oh God.
And okay, here's a fun thing with my family is when we get together, depending on where we're at, if we're at somewhere else, like we were at my great uncle's, we had drinks. And I had the kind of day where it's like I end up going through half a bottle. Now, my aunt was okay with it. My grandma's like, "How do you do this?" I drank the whiskey straight. No, not on the rocks or any mixer. No, just filled up a little rocks glass and just drank it. I went through half a bottle. Came home, was just wondering like, what am I gonna do? Saw HH and saw Discord. I'm like, I need to apologize to HH the other night, and I did so aggressively.
Here's the thing: when Liam gets drunk, he doesn't necessarily speak English. He speaks like Scottish.
I have the thickest Scottish accent you will hear stateside.
Yeah, it's you don't know how to react to it. But like essentially in the D&D group, I played as a ranger with a wolf, and I wanted to be the one that would hunt food and like help everybody out because I could heal, I could catch food, I could track people. And then everybody else is going like, "Hey, I can track and hunt. Hey, I can pick this lock. Hey, I can heal people a lot better." And it kind of left my character being useless, and like it felt even worse because this is like no shade. This is like no shade throw to you, Liam, but like Liam has this tendency to just go on for hours and hours and hours about his characters and the amazing and badass things that they can do. But when he does that, it kind of leaves you falling deeper and deeper into a sinkhole. Like you're kind of forced to compare yourself to this, and it never feels good.
Oh hell no.
So I'm sitting in Discord playing. I think I'm playing Warframe or something, just having a chill night, hoping somebody will join the call just to fill the air with more than just Grineer exploding. And suddenly this Scotsman joins the call, and it's like when you see like a 6 foot tall, 400-pound buff Scotsman in a kilt hovering over you, holding your shoulder in a death grip, trying to say they're sorry, but you can't tell if they're actually trying to say they're sorry or if they're waiting for you to let your guard down to crush your skull. That's the kind of vibe I got from it, so I didn't know how to react.
I must say, I'm not like big giant dude, but I'm fairly lean.
Yeah,
so that gives me a slight chuckle of all things.
Like I'm hoping you're understanding like what I'm comparing you to. I'm comparing you to.
Yeah, I know.
I'm comparing you to
how it sounded
to the dad from How to Train Your Dragon. When someone says Scotsman, my brain immediately goes to the dad from How to Train Your Dragon.
See, when you say Scotsman, I have three thoughts. For some reason, Braveheart.
Never seen it.
That's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
I know about it. I've just never sat down to watch it.
Like I said, Mel Gibson before he went insane.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The Scotsman from Samurai Jack.
I love him.
Just don't call his wife fat.
Yes.
And then, like you said, Pickle's dad from How to Train Your Dragon.
It's either that guy or the one from Brave. I like that guy too, because he reminds me of my dad.
But so yes, that's how I kind of get. Well, it also depends on what I've been drinking. So
yeah, the second time you joined the call, with a Scotsman accent, he didn't sound like, a big hulking guy that could crush your skull and then like ride off on a dragon that he just broke the jaw of. He sounded exactly like David Tennant, so I got super confused.
Well, that night was birthday night, and
Yeah.
I got out for drinks, and I also brought some home.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think we should either continue or take a break.
I think we're good to keep going.
All right.
Again, this one won't take too long. It's
Hopefully.
just basically, well, fuck you. So moving right along. Disney admits they went too far with Star Wars.
Oh, you mean the fuck up with the original series?
What?
Sorry. Well, basic. What?
I was clapping. I didn't hear that. Nope, he's gone. Okay.
Liam.
No, I said there are continual fuck ups with the series.
Yes, thank you.
Ah.
Yes, basically, Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, has basically come out and admitted they fucked up with Star Wars. The constant releasing of the movies, and of course, the constant harassment of the fans by Lucasfilm employees. They've even gone so far as to start treading back what they've done, specifically with the Clone Wars 7th season coming out to finish the Clone Wars saga, basically. Not releasing so many movies at such a crazy rate.
Good.
And so on and so forth. Unfortunately, they're not getting rid of the crazy bitch who's been destroying everything.
Wow.
I.e. Kathleen Kennedy. Yes. As you can imagine, she's still around because, unfortunately, she's made the position so toxic that no one wants to... Exactly. It's basically she's secured her position through failure. Not even
give it time.
Not even J.J. Abrams wants to touch it, and that fuckface will touch anything.
Well, no, see, I will give J.J. some credit where credit is due. He does good set pieces. Like, that's always been his shtick, and some of his stuff works. It's just other stuff, not so much. But like I said, he does good set pieces. That's his whole shtick, has always been set pieces.
Mr. Lens Flare over there.
Essentially. Oh, god damn it, no, that's a fall all the way down to the base. God.
Honestly, it's... like I said, Abrams is better than Michael Bay when it comes to taking criticism. At least, everyone made fun of him for his lens flare, so he stopped using so many lens flares. J.J. Abrams, if you okay, who was the other one I just
Michael
said?
Bay.
Michael Bay was good for explodey action shit, but that's it. J.J. Abrams was good for set pieces.
Well, this is the thing. What I was saying was that when people made fun of him for his use of set pieces, he toned that way the fuck back.
Yeah.
But Michael Bay, when you start criticizing him about the constant use of explosions, the fucker gets all defensive and starts, throwing insults, basically. Again, let us never forget when someone questioned about that, how he walked off stage during a conference and refused to get back on it. In fact, that South Park joke of them asking him for ideas and basically him just listing off special effects is the best way to describe the idiot that is Michael Bay. He doesn't have ideas. He just has special effects.
Oh, I found a book on troll slaying.
Anyway. Unfortunately, since Disney is keeping Kennedy around, they're renegotiating her contract for 3 more years, which is 3 more years in hell.
Give it time.
Great.
They can't get here fast enough.
Like I said, give it time. They'll find a way to dink her out.
Hopefully.
Oh, there's always a way.
And other than that, it really is just a matter of, look, she's losing Disney money. She's basically single-handedly tanked a series, a franchise, which would have made Disney more money than they already were making.
I'm not saying something.
And now, thanks to her, this franchise is now no longer worth its weight in scrap. A perfect example of this is go to any toy store. I can't say Toys R Us because that's no longer around, which sucks.
Rest in peace, childhood memories.
But go anywhere that sells toys, and I guarantee you this: you will find Star Wars merchandise that hasn't been touched in 3 years.
And at ridiculously low prices to try and get a sale.
Exactly. This is something that, again, Star Wars has never been. The king of the bargain bin.
Well, except for, the knockoff, cheap Chinese reproduction shit.
The bootlegs. Yeah, fine. The bootlegs, sure. But this shit is like in Kroger's and places like that where it sells shit cheap. That is telling you something. That is telling everyone that nobody wants to buy these Star Wars toys of useless and unimportant characters. Nobody wants to buy the fucking. No one wants to buy a fucking toy of Admiral Purple Hair or the fucking girl that wears the potato sack as a jumpsuit.
What people really want is that Wookiee mask because of that one Vine.
Exactly.
Sorry, video.
Hell, not even Solo drew the attention of people because no cared. It was a movie that was so bad, no one defended the fucking thing. And honestly, no, you know what's funny? Obed and I last night spent like 3 hours talking about Star Wars and pointing out the fact that this is not a series for fucking kids. And trying to make it a series for kids leads it to failure.
Yep.
I mean, seriously, look at the original Clone Wars animated series that happened like in 2002, and look at the fucked up shit that happened in that show.
Cough,
and tell
cough.
me that's still.
I was about to say cough, cough, the entire thing with Ventress and Anakin.
Is that entire? You can't look at that and say, yeah, this is meant for kids. It's fucking not.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It was awesome as sin.
Yeah.
As bad as that sounds. But yeah, like, and even the modern Clone Wars cartoon had its moments where it's like, this is a kids show?
Exactly. At the beginning, it was pretty crappy, but then later, it really. Go ahead.
The beginning had its good moments, but the big one that was like, wait, what? Was when they re-invaded Geonosis.
Mm-hmm. And the zombie Geonosians.
The zombie Geonosians, the flamethrowers. Whew, that scene, that was a scene with the flamethrowers. That kind of drove it home that this is actually a war, and people use weapons that are really fucked up, but, get results.
Exactly. Like I said, this is a series never meant for kids, and Disney trying to make it for kids leads it to failure. In fact, you know what the perfect example of this is? Have you guys seen the trailer for Star Wars Resistance?
Nope.
Do you remember that old TV show, Dragon Booster?
Yes.
God,
it's using that same animation style. Yes.
No.
And nobody fucking likes it because it looked like crap.
This is one of the cases where I'm just like, really? You motherfuckers
Yeah,
want to do this?
This is the thing. Star Wars TV shows under Disney have gone into a de-evolution from from the Clone Wars faux wooden finish to Rebels CG art fest of death to old Dragon Booster animation style.
Well, see, the thing with
the Dragon Booster animation style is really good, actually. It's just not meant for Star Wars.
No.
Like, hang on, you know what? I'm going to bring up screenshots of this just so people can see what I'm talking about.
Like you know it's bad when somebody who is not a Star Wars fan tells you that just like Star Wars is a disgrace if it goes with the Dragon Booster animation.
Yeah.
I would prefer watching a new Dragon Booster or Stormhawks over a Star Wars animation like this. And those shows have been dead for years.
Dead and buried. Bringing this up only makes it worse.
Okay, I'll admit one thing. BB-8 looks adorable.
BB-8. Nobody cares for the fucking cyberbolic that is BB-8.
Nah, everyone loves BB-8.
He's a fucking rolling testicle.
That just sounds painful.
There you go. So, basically, Resistance, from what I know, is that the entire series' entire thing is that the Resistance is employing racers to spy on fellow racers to see who's loyal to the First Order.
Oh, it really
Now,
is
does this
fucking
sound-
Dragon Booster. It was all
Now,
about
does
racing.
does this sound like a fucking kid show? You know, let's basically hire a kid whose only thing is racing to spy on other people, so we know who works for the bad guys, so we can kill them. Does this sound like a kid show to you?
No, like not even
Exactly.
the current Star Wars, like the Rebels, sounds like a kid show. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, no matter how much you polish this turd, Star Wars Rebels is about war. It's about playing war with an enemy.
It's literal terrorism, actually.
Yeah. It's quite literally like like a resistance. I keep wanting to say French, but I don't think that's right.
No, there was the French Resistance.
Yeah.
But it's essentially this. That's essentially what it is. It's a group of people who are like under this big enemy's watchful eye, but they are still waging war with them. And like innocents on either side are being caught in the battle and nobody cares.
Exactly. Now, I want to bring this up. This is supposed to be our cast, by the way. The green one's face is exactly how I feel.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Also, this droid they have, what the fuck?
Is it wearing a helmet?
Yes, it is. Where the hell is its shell? Why would you do this to a droid?
I need to go to Mirak's temple. Dragon. I don't want to.
Where is it?
Dragon.
Who would do this to this little thing? Why?
Shoot me the image.
It's not cute. It's not interesting. It's cruel. This is like skinning a person and not giving them skin because they look unique. This isn't right.
I think it's more that I think it's more about the fact that
why are you going to do that to a
I don't think they did it on
R2,
purpose. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think they did it on purpose.
Oh, you're thinking it's a
like
shit, we don't have the resources to get your shit back, so this is the best we got as a tube.
Well, that, or like there's no way we're going to be able to repair your shell. It's going to cost too much money. Racing vehicles, like racing pod racers, I don't know what they're using, is really freaking expensive. Like, you saw how hard it was for Anakin in the first episode.
And especially because Watto kept losing money on his races.
Yeah,
No,
and
here's
like
the thing.
C-3PO was walking around with wires, and that was it.
Yeah, but at least with him, we know that he couldn't, it was just something the kid made. That's fine. These people are being backed by the Resistance, which means they have money. Which means you could probably fix the fucking droid, you prick.
Depends.
Most of the money, like the
Resistance is not in good shape right now.
Here is the thing. When it comes to things like this, if a big group is paying you and it's like based around war, that money is not going for your personal things. That money is being used for the conflict. That droid is a personal thing. It is not a part of the conflict. So essentially, like, these people are giving them money to work on whatever they're using to race, to get them in the race, to get their equipment fixed, not a personal droid.
Okay, you say that, but here's the thing. These droids are used to pilot their ships.
Well, it's
especially
less
when-
pilot. It's the racers.
Yes, they need the astromechs to keep the system stable.
Well, the astromechs generally are used for onboard minor maintenance, keeping hyperspace stuff in check, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
So
so technically speaking, it counts. It fucking counts.
In this case, if it's go ahead, HH.
Well, plus, like, again, we saw in the first episode, these droids are expendable. Like, R2-D2 had 2 other guys out there with him when they were fixing the ship. The other 2 get destroyed, and he's the only one left. They don't even acknowledge the other 2 are gone.
No, all they say is we're losing droids fast, and that's it.
Yeah.
Although
That's fucked up.
R2 being R2, let's face it,
You can't kill him.
Scrappy little. He is. Well, no, they did actually kill him, but they brought him back.
Yeah.
In the Clone Wars cartoons, he, for lack of a better term, died saving everyone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But this is what I mean. By the way, the ships they're all using, like we all say, oh, you know, what's it called? Pod racing. It's so dangerous because of how fast. No, these guys can actually shoot each other out of the sky. They have guns. This is actually worse than pod racing.
Kahlua.
It's, and again, this is like legally sanctioned racing kind of thing. It's like, motherfucker, no. This is not right.
Okay, it took me a second. That trooper in the background is holding a data pad. I thought he was not holding a gun, but was still in the pose for holding a gun, like a glitch in a video game.
Exactly. I love how he's posed. By the way, it's like, sir,
ma'am, actually.
So you got Phasma doing this like whole speech thing, and he's in the background like, you know, the mic's not on. But anyway, so this is what I mean. They're trying their damnedest to make these things into fucking kids shows. Nobody likes this, by the way. The trailer has the biggest dislike ratio I've ever seen for Star Wars. And I don't care if this is like, oh, it's going to be canon and yada yada. I don't give a shit anymore. Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson killed Star Wars for me. No matter what you do or no matter what you make, it's done. I'm finished. I'm leaving. And unless these 2 are gone and as far away from any Star Wars shit as possible, you're never going to get me back. Fuck, I'm sad now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there we go.
Well, I'm kicking Mirak's ass.
Oh, no.
If that makes you feel any better.
Wait, I need to go back to those images. Okay, I had a near scare there.
What happened?
Somebody posted on Tumblr picture of characters all chewing bubblegum, and I thought one of them looked like one of these racing characters. Triple checking. Where's the picture? Oh. This is gonna take a while. Carry on.
Right. Well then. So yeah, like I said, it's ruin and death what's happening right now, and honestly, unless Bob Iger says, hey, fucking stop, you know, this is the end of Star Wars as we know it. 40 years, and this is what kills it. Ironic that it's Disney that kills it too.
Yeah.
Well, not so much Disney, it's just the assholes who, you know, got hired on by Disney.
Yeah, when you make a wish upon a star, fuck you.
Okay, no. The 2D animations are good. Just like their bad egg is Star Wars.
It's still, you know what? I'm going to watch the first episode of this just to see how fucking stupid it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this will be great. I highly fucking doubt it.
If that's the case, that we turn out to have the most, like, amazing thing ever, I'd just be like, concerned?
It's like, boy.
Essentially, yeah.
But no, like I said, it's... No, you know what? Wait, there's an image I want to put on the screen for that. Wait. It's a thing I want to make a thing, by the way.
We don't need your dick pics.
No, it's not a fucking dick pic.
I'm sorry, I had to say it.
It's
I am contractually obligated.
Oh,
No,
don't worry,
no,
we have a
what-
dick
what
pic right here. Boom.
Oh god.
No, it's
It's
basically,
EA.
it's EA, exactly.
Oh god.
No, this is what I want to make a thing for, like, the show or anything in general. Just whenever something really stupid happens, we put this up.
Meep.
Exactly.
Meep.
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 Exactly. We're doing this. We're fucking doing this.
I will replace EA with Meep.
Meep.
Just meep.
Meep.
By the way, there has
Kinda
been like SpongeBob SquarePants commercials all day.
Oh god.
I miss the days when SpongeBob was good. Although, from what I hear, they might be going back to the some of the original dudes.
Yeah,
Oh, good,
yeah.
good.
It really should have stopped after the movie. Anyway, carrying on.
Yep. So, all right, I think we've covered everything we want to say about this topic. You know how fucking stupid this is all going.
Hmm.
So, yeah. I think this is the perfect time to take a break for now.
Yep.
We've got-
Bye.
Hang on, we've got 3 more things and then we're good for the night.
Who's
Oh, what do we got then?
Spiral Reignite.
We have anonymous sheep and anonymous chipmunk. Who else is in the file?
I don't know.
I'm so confused. Anyway,
Yeah. Our last 3 topics will be Spiral Reignited Trilogy, our thoughts, comic artist lawsuiting a Marvel writer, Mark Waid versus diversity in comics, and DevStream 117.
hmm
All right. So we will be back in a few minutes. Everyone get up, get some drinks, etc., and we will see you all then.
Bye.
stop that.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
All right, remember to leave called this time.
I'm Skyriming at the moment.
Okay. This is the part of the show where we play the intro / outro music / break music on repeat. If you don't want to listen to it, just mute it, tab away, stuff like that. Get up, stretch, call the mothership, get yourself some food, something to drink, go to the bathroom, all that jazz. It says 5 minutes. It varies. And we'll see you guys in a bit. yeah, that's enough of that. I've been sitting here the entire time hearing that song on repeat. I'm just gonna update Discord real quick while we're waiting. Just having a bit of a blow up on some friends. Harmless blow up, but still a blow up. Oh, here we go.
Hello?
Yep,
Yep. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay! I had been sitting here
Alright
this
then.
whole time listening to the music. Oh my god. Again, blame Bill for that one. I was not. I got so angry I didn't even realize.
Alright. On to. We've got 3 more before the show is over.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going right into Spyro Reignited Trilogy.
I'm excited for this.
Alright then, let's move on. No, I'm kidding.
Like, for those of you who don't know, Spyro Reignited is essentially a tiny group of I don't know about tiny, but it's a standalone company that is taking the original Spyro trilogy, like the original, those weird polygon shaped Spyro characters and games and all that, is getting a complete HD rework.
Yep.
And it looks gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. We're still thing. I forgot to put the meep away. There we go. But I actually shared this on Facebook, like one of the few times I ever use Facebook. I shared it. Even my cousins are excited for this. Everybody I know is excited for this.
As am I. I grew up with the original Spyro trilogy, and seeing all this remastered in full HD, I was like, oh, my childhood.
Yeah.
My childhood. Just so much happiness, so much bliss. I love how everyone looks, and it isn't just the main characters. Every enemy is getting such an amazing HD skin to them that I'm like, yes. I'm just so happy.
I think what they've done is that they have taken like the original game, they've broken it down and just completely rebuilt it.
I wouldn't doubt it. If it is a complete like rebuilding from the ground up, I will be very happy.
Yeah, there's my gosh, there's actually a whole. Let's see if I can find it. Nope. I thought there was like a whole gallery of it. Nope.
But again, like seeing before and after images is like, oh my god, it's amazing.
I am so excited for this. I'm so super excited.
Honestly, and I love the fact that some of the other characters, like
The hunter
characters who no, like if the first game, like all the dragons that were encased in emerald are actually getting their own unique models, where originally they were all just given different names and had the same kind of character model to each of them. They're actually getting their own bodies and different appearances. I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, I love every instant, everything they're doing with this, really.
Yeah, the Spyro Reignited even has its own YouTube channel.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So just seeing it all is just so, excuse me, is so amazing, really. And I can't help but feel like this is what's probably going to reinvigorate Spyro for others moving on in the future. And get him the fuck away from that incredibly annoying and ugly Skylanders shit.
Well, Skylanders isn't all that bad. I can understand where some people are coming from when they say they don't like it. But you have to admit, it has its good moments. Which is not very much.
I'm talking more design-wise, I mean. Like, actually give him a proper sequel game following up from all this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all we had was, what, the last, um,
The
the
Legend of
last game,
Spyro. That was
and then it
yeah.
and it ended there, and, it's I'm like, okay, where do we go on from here?
Well, there. What else could they do, really?
Oh,
The big bad guy has been defeated. The world is broken, but for the most part, it's saved. There's nothing else you can really do.
true. Still, if they do decide to continue something or revitalize something else for the game series, I don't know, just moving forward, I suppose. It's just a hope, I suppose, of a old fan.
Yeah. I. What were the original three? I know that Enter the Dragonfly was not one of them.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that. I did not play the original 3 games. I had Enter the Dragonfly, and that got me into it. And then some of my friends were really, really clinging to a Legend of Spyro, writing stories, drawing pictures, and holding it, putting up screenshots and stuff like that. And they were really good, and that got me into it. Skylanders comes out. I like Skylanders. I really do. I'm I'm probably one of a small number of people, but I can
Very small.
understand where all the where all the distaste for it is coming from. People grew up with this open world. I say open world with this character who is a hero who looks like this, and now they're
Mhm.
getting a little gremlin.
A little gremlin with the weirdest horns in the universe.
Yeah. Again, you have to admit there are some good things about Skylanders. There's a good story, somewhat, and the characters are really interesting to look at.
Yeah, you'll never hear me say the character designs are bad. You'll never hear me say that. All the characters have interesting and impressive designs to them. It's just, at least for me, this is, again, it's pretty obviously a kid's game, and obviously I can't, sit down to,
Yeah.
it's just something that's always going to be for kids, and I just, basically said, okay, I guess this is the end of my era. I might as well move on.
Like,
As dour as that sounds.
you and I are kind of on the same boat on some things with the original game compared to this new game. I knew about Spyro back then. I never played it except for Enter the Dragonfly, and I liked the design. And I'll admit I was a little bit bitter towards Skylanders because this is not like the little purple dragon we all remember. But sometimes you have to let that go. We're in an era or a generation that doesn't know about the original trilogy, about what Spyro used to be.
Hmm.
So
Well, except now.
and this game, while it's not what the original was, it is introducing people to the name. So in turn, it'll
Hmm.
very, very likely introduce them to oh, to the originals.
Hmm. Honestly, it's that all said though, like I've said before, I like where they're going with a lot of the characters. I like how a lot of the designs are being touched up, remodeled, revamped. It's pretty impressive.
Oh
And
no.
again, what?
No, I know something on Discord. Everybody made a mistake.
Okay.
Right. I'm gonna mute myself. Hang on.
All right. All right. Matter of looking up. Okay. Like I said, it's just a game series where, again, like we've said, it's our time has passed. Spyro has, become what it is now. And honestly, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with moving on with my. That sounds so callous, really. I'm okay with moving on from this point in my life and letting a new generation see what Spyro has become, and living as they are. I'm okay with that. At the same time, I can't help but hope that this game does well enough that allows the new generations to see to see what we played and what were our
We grew up with.
experiences. Exactly, that's it.
Hello, Liam. Welcome back.
I turbo potatoed.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I actually got a blue screen of death.
Oh, no.
It's fine and running now, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, what?
Right. But yeah. Oh, excuse me.
We're talking
dear.
about Spyro Reignited now.
Oh, I know. Oh my god, I had so many fond memories growing up with Spyro.
Yeah. You two are the only ones who have played the original trilogy. I played Enter the Dragonfly, and that was it.
Enter the Dragonfly was okay.
I loved the game, but at the same time, I hated it. Specifically, I hated one specific dragonfly. One. In the Dreamland, you had to be like very careful climbing these pillars, like using jump and glide. Like you could very easily bonk your head and fall and have to climb up again. And the dragonfly would be at the very top. You climb up, the dragonfly goes down. You climb up again. You go down there to get it. Dragonfly goes back up, and you have to be quick.
It's the stereotypical up down, up down, up down, up down.
Yes, and that's another thing that kind of irked me about Spyro as well, was the needlessly complex challenge when it came to certain requirements, like the egg thieves or orbs. It was always just like,
For me, it was the races.
why?
Having to race was so annoying.
I enjoyed the egg thieves. Because the first time you fuck up is like, oh, and they're laughing at you. And then when you catch them, they're like, oh dear crap.
Still, out of everything that we've seen, I am hoping this game is received well, and they've actually. Again, this is a remake that seems to have love and care put into it, so I don't believe that it will fail. It won't be a buggy mess. I have faith in that.
Who's doing the rework?
It's an off branch company. I don't think it's very big though. This is a downside. Like I'm aware of the Spyro trilogy, and like the Reignited trilogy, but I don't think anybody even said the name of the company that's doing this.
That is concerning. But again, so far it seems to be functional and stable. And if we're going by the graphics, it's obvious they're trying to
update everything.
Make it. Yeah, it is very clearly a labor of love. So I have no reason to be too worried about this. I honestly have. This is the rare instance where I will be full of hope and optimism. And not my stereotypical, super clinical, staring at every detail, following the stories, and looking for the fuck ups.
Yeah, because like when it comes to like remakes of games, and you kind of have to really analyze it because you're not sure what they're going to do, because essentially like this is your childhood, this is your baby they're redoing. You want it to be just as you remember, only polished.
Yeah, and so far they've polished it in such a way that I look at it and I'm like, yeah, this is fine. It's a rare moment where I can actually look beyond my cynicisms or my constant concerns and say, yeah, this is all right.
It's rare to see that too.
Mm-hmm. Very rare, in fact.
Like with Resident Evil, this is my childhood baby, and every time they re-release Resident Evil 1 and 2, it's essentially a polished turd, and I don't
Well,
like it.
well, so far from what I've saw from Resident Evil 2's remake, it is basically retreading the same ground, but giving it more of the Resident Evil 6 control scheme. But everything else is pretty much the same.
Mm.
Hell, I won't lie, I freaking love what they're going with, the art style and how everything is being made up. I loved how everyone looks. Hell, I even love the bits where they show William Birkin transforming. It looks so grisly, but it
It's supposed
seems. But I mean, like before, it's like, you saw it and it looked like just clay crap, because
Well,
of how poor the model was.
the graphics back in the day.
Yeah, but this is more like you can see the muscles tearing, rebuilding, the bone jutting out and reforming. It looks they spent everything trying to remake every little detail and make it amazing. So again, this is why I have faith in these two reworks, both Spyro and Resident Evil. It looks like they are really giving it their all and trying to make this thing as eye-popping and as amazing as humanly possible.
And nostalgic.
With the odd touch up and update here or there, because let's face it, the old Resident Evil 2 controls were tank controls.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they're actually trying to make that work in a third-person space is nothing short of a miracle.
Well, you know what I meant by tank controls, right?
Yeah, we know.
Like it.
It's in Resident Evil 5.
Yeah.
And I love that one.
4 kind of has it, but it's more like an improved tank controls. Yeah. So I believe that covers everything we want to see in and the Reignite trilogy. Is there anything we're missing?
Holy shit! I just got this feed. Just got this on my feed.
Okay.
Sony enables Fortnite crossplay, but still dodges.
Oh yeah. It basically
The only time we ever talk about Fortnite is if they're shitting themselves.
Or if someone's fucking something up. But yeah, basically it's just, Sony's getting flack from everyone. And like, we don't care
for Fortnite, like, at all.
Yeah,
oh, I know.
But they were just
that's not the important thing here on my end of things.
Mm-hmm.
No, they were just panicking because people were giving them shit and they're making up some bullshit about like, oh, it's not as easy as flipping a switch because blah 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 blah. Because they're stupid.
Yep.
Anyway, moving right along, I guess we've covered everything on that subject.
It is a beautiful work on a nostalgic game. I can't wait for it to come out. Apparently, some YouTubers have actually gotten early access to it.
Oh, good. They're gonna ruin it for everybody.
Yeah, check out Ghost Robo if you want.
Hey, I remember. He had it.
Yeah.
All right, moving right along to our next topic then. Comic artist lawsuit.
Oh, gods.
So, basically, we're going to be covering, once again, a situation that involves political BS. Because, again, people have too much fucking time and money on their hands. So, basically, a guy, someone attempted to create a comic book that,
I'll be back in a second here, y'all. All right.
All right. What's up, HH?
I got Pup to take care of real quick.
Yeah, HH, what's up? Okay, I guess it's me covering it here. Yeah, so basically, to make a long story short, a comic artist by the name of Diversity in Comics wanted to create his own comic book to kind of give the fans what they wanted, which was called Jawbreaker's Lost Soul. The comic was crowdfunded, and it successfully crowdfunded its desired target goal. However, when he went to the publishing house, which was Antarctic Press, the publisher said, "Yeah, we'll what's the word? We'll make the we'll publish the comic, no problem." However, a group of comic book writers that were officially in the industry, like the guys in Marvel and DC, basically, but mostly Marvel. Let me put that up. Mostly Marvel decided to move in and start attacking the little publication. And basically, one of them, specifically a man called Mark Waid, a guy who does who's written comics for a few books, I believe Daredevil being one of them. I honestly can't remember anything he's done off the top of my head. Decided to contact Antarctic Press constantly and put pressure on them, and basically threatened the company with, "I work with Marvel, and at my command, effectively, if I tell Marvel that you're a threat, well, we're just going to basically destroy you." And it was so bad, so much, pressure from this one guy and his cabal of comic writers. The company had no choice but to not have the they couldn't publish the comic, and basically the comic was not allowed to be, but it wasn't published. Because of this, the guy in Diversity Comics had no choice but to self-publish the comic book through a new website he called Splato del Gato Publishing, to self-publish the whole thing. Tries to do this, and unfortunately he's tried to reach out to other comic book stores so he can have the comic be sold in a physical format, not just in a digital format. And needless to say, Mark Waid and many of his ilk have been actively going at it and refusing to sell his comic, specifically just to hurt him, because they know that his comics are going to sell. His comics are going to put him out of business, effectively. And because of that, the they can't have competition. They really can't. So they lose their minds, they went mental, and they just kept on attacking the poor guy, basically destroying any and all opportunity for him to get work done. And of course, as everyone knows, this is against the law. This is an unjust method. Everyone is protected under law to create their own things, and it is against the law for anyone to act in a malicious intent to remove other people's work, as it were, from the open market. That's not how it works. And of course, Mark Waid, being the idiot he is, decided to flaunt his victory and success by basically going into Twitter and everything else and basically incriminating himself, by the way, that, "Oh, look at me, I've managed to defeat the evil the evil Diversity in Comics guy, because, oh, look, me and my friends got rid of, threatened these publications and blah, 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 blah." And of course, the guy just can't handle it anymore. And because of that, he's actually getting sued. He's actually issued a lawsuit against Mark Waid. This lawsuit is, of course, for defamation of character, getting the, getting in the way of him making his own business, his own profits, etc., etc. And of course, it's going to be an open jury, open court kind of court case. And this could very well be our best, Mark Waid, the end of Mark Waid, because after he basically admitted he basically admitted he was responsible for removing a man's work from the machine of commerce. he's got in trouble with Marvel because Marvel was getting heat for it and all this kind of crazy shit. And honestly, at this point, I don't know what we can expect to see moving forward, really. And honestly, I can only hope that this lawsuit goes in diversity in comics' favor, because the guy has actually, he's breaking the law. He's bullying smaller companies and comic book stores not to publish this guy's books, just so he and his ilk can continue to publish their constant uh, propaganda, the constant leaning trash that they want to produce and call everyone under the sun and yada yada yada. Honestly, it's just it's going to lead to something interesting, and I'm hoping that if this, well, we know that this lawsuit is going to go in diversity in comics' favor because the guy, has not broken the law. Oh, hold on a second. AJ, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. I just got
Okay,
back.
I
Yeah.
just noticed the thing was moving. It's like, oh, have I been talking all the time? And she's been telling me to shut up.
No.
Ah. All right, where was I?
Somebody's work was removed. I had gotten up for a majority of this segment. And he's dead, ladies and gentlemen. Great. Yep, he's gone. Okay. Oh boy. Technical difficulties, I guess. That or he quite literally left.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, my my audio setup broke.
Yay.
All right. So honestly, what do you think? Do you think this is gonna like cause waves, if you will?
Very likely.
Yeah. I mean, it's not often that a Marvel writer acts like a Marvel villain against a little independent guy.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
kind of telling. I can only, and of course, everyone who is a fan of good comics are on board with this. They want to see Mark Waid getting exactly what he deserves, Like we're talking like this guy's asked for, oh, excuse me, has basically like threatened people heading to conventions and shit like that. And yet, of course, what's the word? Because of all the shit he's been doing, it's good to see that he's finally getting his comeuppance. And if we're lucky, he's gonna freaking, he's been nothing but a prick and has threatened the livelihood of one man. So you know what? He deserves to lose his livelihood for this shit. Because frankly, if you're willing to go so far as to call the publishers of someone who's trying to make a book, and then basically using your influence at Marvel to threaten them and get them to not publish this guy's book, then yeah, you deserve losing everything you've set up. And then some. That's all I have to, like, this is the only time I'm ever going to say, oh yeah, Mark Waid deserves some sympathy. No, he really doesn't freaking deserve it.
Yeah.
It's good to finally get all that off my chest too. Whew. All right then.
Next topic, I guess.
Yeah, I guess since, not much to say beyond that point of Rev just had a bit of a mental breakdown against this one fuckface.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and moving right along, I believe this is the last one of the evening. DevStream 117.
I actually watched this one on and off. I was paying more attention to my game.
Fair enough. So, actually, this one kind of appeared out of nowhere from me, actually. I just recently found out about it, too. Oh, hold on a sec. They've made more, K-Drive art for the underside.
Yeah.
More crazy art, like the one we saw at
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah. Hold on. It's the typical disgusting skater kind of design.
Is it still taking a shit on Nefania though?
It's actually all the other bosses.
Then it's actually beautiful art
that we fight. Like Captain Vor, Kella the Thame, not Nefania. Oh god, Alad V and General Sargus Rook.
Oh my god, these are awesome. These are really cool. Is there actually a name for the person that is drawing these?
I don't know. I don't know if this is like a fan who's been submitting this, or if this has been all made by DE. I don't think it's DE. Like, I'm not knocking them, but I don't think they have the creative skill to make these. Or the art skill, I should say. So yeah, during, of course, all of this dev stream, they did show off more of the kit guns this time around. And for those of you who don't know, the kit guns are basically what you can build, just like with how in Cetus you build swords for standing. In this one, you get to build sidearms for standing with the Solaris. And of course, it seems that the type of ammunition you fire with these guns is based on the barrel or the ammunition drum you add, which I find interesting. Also, this guy they've got selling the guns.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one that looks unique amongst the sea of his fellows. I love the red paint job. Looks good.
Oh wow.
Though he's kind of creepy.
Glowing eyes, like I see you.
Exactly. It's like, hello there. Now, what's weird is that when they showed him off, he was like having spasms, like head spasms, and kept smacking his own head. So I'm guessing he has some sort of technical glitch that makes his head start sputtering in a weird way. The poor thing. That must be annoying. So yes, of course, they also showed off some of the new, a new Corpus fighter we're going to be facing during the Railjack missions. It looks kind of weird, doesn't it?
It looks like something you'd see in Star Wars.
Yeah. I think it's like some sort of distortion vehicle or some kind of weapon.
Yeah.
Not sure. They also showed off like the power source of the Railjack, which is this big engine thing towards the back.
It's powered by Excalibur.
It's powered by exactly. He's in there in that thing being spun around.
I saw this part of the stream. They were showing there's more than just 2 levels. There's like 3. And they had like Excaliburs dotted everywhere to show a size comparison, but Excalibur was standing in the engine.
Exactly. It's like,
it's powered by Excalibur.
Also, they showed off the fire extinguisher for the ship.
That was actually a very funny part.
That's a penis. Like, that's literally a dick.
Let me see. Oh my gods.
Yeah.
Oh my gods, it is. I'm not going to share that. Just for safety reasons, I'm not going to share that.
It's a fucking dick. We're using the ship's dick to put out fires. You cheeky monkeys. Oh, man. I wonder if that can be used as a weapon. I'm hoping you can. If not, I'm going to be so disappointed.
Uh,
Anyway, other than that, it was very interesting to see some of the ship. Oh, wait, is this what you're saying? What you were talking about when it came to the ship being powered by Excalibur? Hold on, almost sent it to the wrong place.
yep. He's the engine.
He powers it by running. It's just a giant hamster
He just
thing.
powers it by screaming.
Yeah. Screaming into the void. Oh man. But other than that, it was very impressive to see what they showed off. I'm surprised that they finally decided to allow us to use Arcwing weapons on the ground.
That is the part I am most excited for.
You know for a fact this is going to be the most unbalanced shit in the universe, right?
You know for a fact that is all Liam is ever gonna fucking use.
Just nothing but fucking miniguns everywhere. I still remember the days when, what is it? Who was it? Steve, I believe, or one of the others, who was so angry that everyone was asking, "Can we get these things on the planet, like to use them on the ground?" And he was so mad and said no because they're too big and gravity and yada yada yada. Many years later, oh look at that, we can use them on the ground now.
Yay. Then the chat started begging, like, are we gonna have the melee weapons? That one I can understand them saying no.
You say that, and yet we're getting a giant katana.
Like, the guns I can understand. The melee weapons is a no.
If we have to only use one, what's the word? If we only have to use one, what's the word? If we have to use just one of these weapons and it takes up 2 slots on the inventory, I'm fine with that. I really am. I just want to hurt things. It was so beautiful. Still, I wonder what else. I mean, this makes sense for us to use it, given the fact that in the planes we've got heavy gunners that use miniaturized cannons against us.
Yeah, like the heavy gunners use the grappler themselves.
So it's only fair that we get to use them. And then destroy everything. Oh, and they also did they checked the animal test hunting this time, and it works.
I saw that part too. The vermin saw her and ran. I'll have to admit, the more and more they show off with Fortuna, the less and less excited I'm getting. Because I want to explore and see all this stuff myself.
Oh, you're gonna see a lot more.
I know.
The shit they've been showing, it's just been like the fraction of what is gonna be there. Remember, there's going to be underground caves and bases to explore.
They did show an underground cave, though.
Yes, one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be fun. Other than that, it's I'm so excited to see where Fortuna goes and the people we're going to meet.
I'm gonna shoot Alad. Wrong person. I'm gonna shoot If on your nuts.
We're going to destroy his statue first, then we're going after
that is definitely something we're doing. Like, as soon as Fortuna comes out and we can go out there, I am going to paste Bucket Prime all over Nathaniel's statues to the point where it's not even worth keeping them.
I'm just gonna park
photos everywhere.
I'm just gonna park myself up in a nice high spot with my ogress and set everything on fire with napalm.
Oh, by the way,
I love
go
my
ahead.
ogress and the ribbon I got with it. I also
Yeah, but
someone else got me the Night Watch napalm mod, so it's hilariousness.
Nice.
Except for when I blow myself up.
oh, by the way, this is one of the what's it called? So this is from the previous dev stream actually. This is one of the sentients Rebecca accidentally showed when searching the base.
Oh yeah, the ones that were like on tables. Yeah.
Yeah, being dissected. Now this is crazy. I've never seen one that looks like this.
Send it to me.
Ow.
I mean, we could assume it's a one of the stick sentients, but it doesn't look like it.
Meep.
To meep. Yes.
So battle list.
Yeah, but look at the design. It's
Oh, yeah.
considerably different than the others.
Well,
Maybe an older
Got a little bit more bulk to it.
well, the upper torso has more bulk, but if you look closer, it's actually got less material on the lower half because you've seen what those guys look like. These guys have
Yeah, but
totally
this
different.
looks like something. Again, this looks like an early prototype of it, really. Or
Really
scout.
prototype, or it could be an entirely new model.
Also possible.
I mean,
And of
like
course,
I said, judging by the way the shoulders are shaped.
Yeah, and of
I'd
course
almost say that. Sorry, I pause it when I talk. Sorry, but judging by the way the shoulders are shaped, it almost looks to close itself up and act as a self-propelled weapon.
Also possible. Okay. DE also showed off the rework or the redesign for the Lanka, which is very interesting. It's basically just a lightning gun now.
Ooh.
Yee. Just zap zap.
Sniper zap
And
zap.
yeah.
Or are they turning it away from a sniper rifle?
I think it's still a sniper rifle.
It just doesn't look like it, really. It looks a bit more like a railgun.
Oh, I know what you're talking. Well, the Lanka is a railgun.
Oh.
On foot taser.
Taser gun.
Get tased, you hooligan.
That was my favorite part from Omni Voice. Where he
tased, you hooligan. I do that voice a little too well for my tastes.
Yes. Oh, and also to show off on the stream, they did show off the new species of a few vermin types.
I also saw like those dog-looking things.
You mean the critters you can rescue?
Yeah, these. Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah, they're vermix. Actually,
for a second there, I thought you said vermin.
No, vermink, which I'm guessing is like a mixture between a mink and a like stout or stoat. I like the design. It's very cute.
They look a bit like borzois.
A bit like what?
Borzois. They're dogs.
Oh.
Here, I'll get a picture of one for you.
All right. That, or they also kind of remind me of Italian greyhounds. Like with the snout. Only
snout, not schnout. It's snout.
I say it's snout.
Sorry to grammar Nazi you then.
Anyway. But yeah, I love the fact that they've basically been drip feeding information, and it's kind of showing that they're getting closer and closer to unveiling Fortuna based on everything they've shown. Oh yeah, those dogs. Yeah, they kind of look like those.
Here's hoping they don't TM Prime soon it.
But yes, honestly, I don't think they are, based on how like almost complete it is. I don't know when they said Fortuna would come out.
Two
like
updates.
They said what?
After the next 2 updates.
Oh, there you go, and those are like coming up soonish. So
yeah,
no, they go ahead.
I was about to say I forum troll a forum troll, and one of the big forums I'm on has like an entire section of the whole damn forum dedicated to the games and stuff like that, and they've got a like 1,000+ Warframe page. So 1,249 pages with
Jesus.
31,221 replies.
Anyway. Oh, actually, they also showed off some very amazing concept art I kind of liked for like a potential skybox. It was amazing.
I want
That
the kick guns.
yeah, the kid guns look fun, and
Well,
I
I
love the
mean,
fact
we
that
already have. Oh, God.
I was going to say I love the fact that they've shown in this concept art what Orokin towers look like in space, at least when they're in a battle. Though those small fighters look like more railjacks, so it could be uh, Grenier versus Corpus, actually. So this could be from the past, I think.
Yeah. That said, like any of these, like, with all these updates, I'm very curious to see where your story is gonna go.
Oh, it's going to go everywhere.
Yeah.
Left, right, upside down, sideways, to the moon, and back.
Good. We've already been to the moon.
Again.
We're halfway there. Yeah, but so far I can tell that DE is focusing on they're progressing the story. We're gonna have that whole the new war after Fortuna itself. We're getting to see the colonies, the people, the humans, and learning about them, wanting to defend them, not just a bunch of faceless people. It's great. But honestly, if personally, I think DE should maybe, to keep the content drought from being too bad, I think a good idea was that whole the rail reconstruction. That was a very smart thing to do. Get the content. Go ahead.
That was actually a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it. Although freaking asshole McGee showing up out of fucking nowhere. Although the fact that Cressatal is in fact descended from.
I told him what you told me.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, by the way, everyone. But, well, actually, no. He's just. I'll just generically name him as Fire McFireface.
Yeah, everybody knows who that is.
Yeah. Really?
Well, yeah, he's the only key character that we know of who uses fire excessively.
Embermains?
Embermains, yes.
Character.
We're technically characters.
They're players.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had to make the joke, but I understand.
Yeah. But no, it's an interesting idea. It's a theory I think holds weight.
It's a game theory.
Yeah. Now, so where's all that money I'm supposed to get when I don't, ask for sources and bullshit? Matt Pat. You can't see it right now, but I'm giving the biggest middle finger I humanly can make.
That sounds painful.
It is.
You need to get that looked at by a doctor.
It's like, it sounds painful. It is, but totally worth it. Ow.
Ow, 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 ow. Oh, I take it you already know about the Arcwing weapons thing then?
Yeah, we just talked about that.
Okay, sorry. The fact that
deep down, we feel like you're gonna, we're gonna go into a mission, all you're ever gonna bring is a Grappler.
No, you just hear a click. What was that noise? Door opens. Hi, guys.
There's hold on. Let me find something. Keep talking.
But well, I mean, all of the Arcwing weapons have their own uses and stuff like that. The shotgun, the Corvus. Actually, I enjoy it. The Wrathbone I enjoy. The Imperator is actually pretty good as far as starter weapons go for a new type of mode. So, and they're all pretty decent. Although my big worry is the fucking what was it? The Fluctus? Oh, the Fluctus is going to have use against the Infested because
I don't know.
The wave. It's the wave. It's the one that shoots all the waves and stuff like that.
Oh.
So that's why I have use against the Infested, because it's just crowd clearing potential. But my big one that I want to see is the Nux.
Yeah,
You happen to know what
hold on. Let that GIF basically sum up Liam the moment he gets the minigun in Warframe. Let that sum it up.
Oh yeah, that. I was actually like, I don't know why, but I was kind of hoping it would be Hank Hill. You remember that GIF?
No. Yeah.
That sums him up too. I can actually put this on the stream too. Hold on.
Go for it.
Did you put?
I'll send you. I'll send it to you.
Discord,
I got it. There you go.
But I have always had a thing, an affinity for big guns.
Oh yeah, like no joke. Liam and I would play like Starbound on a stream all the time at one point, and there was a mod that he asked me to add. It is the Essential Miniguns mod. And it's actually really good. It does shit for damage, but that's not really a problem when it's shooting so fast.
Yeah, its individual shots are kind of but it's shooting so many so fast. It's like.
Plus, it has a flashlight.
Well. Yeah, they strapped a flashlight to a minigun, and there have been times where HH is in deep shit, and then just suddenly, boom! Hey, how's it going?
I like the the little trailer that it has for it too.
Oh, yes, I will. I admit that would totally be me. I would be heavy. That means I'm gonna die in a heroic sacrifice. I don't want to die in a heroic sacrifice.
I think
what's gonna happen.
I think more of that one chick from the Aliens movie. But then again, she dies too.
Pretty much.
Why is it all the awesome, cool characters with miniguns die?
Because they're a giant target out in the middle of nowhere, shooting.
Well, actually, there is actually a name for that trope. It's BFS. Well, BGFS. Big Guy Fatality Syndrome. Where it's essentially the big guy has to stay behind or something happens or something like that. And he's going to do something. It's stupid. It's heroic as fuck, but he's not walking away from it. And it's basically what the big guy does in the party, for lack of a better terms, as tropes go. He is the living meat wall, and this is his stand.
Very much. But anyway, other than I almost dropped something. Other than that, it is again everything DE has shown in the most on this dev stream is going to be interesting. Again, I think the smart thing to do when it comes to content droughts is release small events or small things that have a story reason to exist, but enough to be intriguing, just enough to keep the people placated until the big thing comes out.
Well, there's also something you got to remember with player burnout and stuff like that.
Player burnout.
I know a lot of people who love Warframe and play it all the time, but they take huge breaks in between everything.
Yep.
True. Also that. Well, another thing they could also do is, again, this is what I've been saying for many, many episodes now. Actually, I'm sure if you go back to a few, you could probably figure out which episodes I'm talking about it. But
I was going to make the many, many moons ago joke, but
no, but basically it's where I was saying the whole DE really would benefit from creating some kind of Warframe digital movie, or some other forms of ancillary media to keep the fans interested while they're taking a break or when they're not playing the game.
Yeah.
Things that don't need to be, again, like the comic books. That was great.
Why did his leg kick out like that? That guy just did a jig when I shot him in the nuts. No, like his legs did a legitimate jig. I am concerned for the corpus for some reason.
But anyway, again, I think DE. I'm honestly hoping DE does create some sort of, movie thing, specifically because it seems to be every other big MMO studio thing to do, like.
Oh, you mean the books and stuff like that?
Yeah, anything
from
really.
various games and stuff like that. Yeah, I see where you're going.
It's either that or anything like, taking World of Warcraft for example. They've done some, you know, and I don't just mean the Warcraft live action movie. I'm talking like things,
Like
their
books.
trailers. Yeah,
Oh
and the
my
trailers and things.
God, the Warbringer trailers.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we need. Warframe needs a form of Warbringer trailer for the game.
Well, see, the thing with the Warbringer trailers though is they focus on specific characters that we know, and they're showing them at. In the case of Jaina, it's her coming to a realization that for as bigoted and the fact that her father did start the whole deal with Theramore that happened, that while he was all these horrible things, he also was right about the Horde in the end. Kinda. It was more Garrosh and his fuck ups, but you know what I mean.
Yes, that's why I'm kind of like, don't.
Not
Again,
all
this is why.
of the Horde.
No, that's why I'm always like, This, her father was in the wrong here. Let's be honest.
Well, he was, but at the same time, he was right. You can be wrong and right at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Sylvanas. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm not even going to go into that one.
The bitch. It's like, Rev has no sympathy towards her. It's like,
Yep.
You fucking bitch.
Well, see, apparently someone is behind the scenes okay. Quick lore dump, it's spoilers. So someone behind the scenes manipulated Vol'jin into saying that because the spirits told him, since he is in tune with the Loa as a troll and stuff like that, that Sylvanas should be the next war chief, right? And it's like, okay, what spirit does he venerate? What Loa spirit does he venerate the most out of all of them? And that is Bwansamdi. If the name sounds familiar,
I know. Yeah, I know where you're going.
Baron
with
Samedi, all that stuff. But here's the thing: all the gods of death think Sylvanas is bad for business. Because Sylvanas has gotten to the point where she's basically, no, let's kill everything and then bring them back from the dead as undead. And all the Loa of Death, Bwansamedi, the other spooky one that's really fucking terrifying. I don't remember his name. But
it's Necros.
No, but these various...
Necros suddenly appears in World of Warcraft.
Everyone shits themselves. But all these spirits are basically, and gods, so on and so forth, are saying like, yeah, she's bad for business for us. Because, yeah, they're gods of death, spirits of the afterlife, so on and so forth. But it's all a cycle. Life and death feed into each other. Death creates more room for life, and life obviously passes on and dies, which feeds back into itself. But she just wants to take everything. And someone basically, behind the scenes, yoinked Zul'jin's spirit. And then someone else, we don't know, turned him into a proto-Loa to get him out of that situation. So it's a whole different thing. But you can see with the Warbringer trailer for her just how far she's falling. Because she, the Maiden of Sorrow, Lady of War type thing when she first was reintroduced after she had been, Bansheefied. I'm coining that term.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the really, really fucky one with involving N'Zoth and crazy night elf queen bitch, even more so than Sylvanas. But that one's just, you can feel the anger that N'Zoth has. You can feel the arrogance of this elf. You can feel that she realizes that, Well, no, she doesn't realize it. We all know it, but N'Zoth is playing her for a fiddle.
Mm-hmm.
It's an elder god. What do you expect?
Yeah, hold on. Again, to basically bring us back to what we were trying to bring up, it's just a matter of this needs to, again, basically what we're trying to say is that Warframe might benefit from a Warbringer, several Warbringer-like trailers for certain maybe bosses or individuals in... Go ahead.
Actually, that's what I was eventually kind of wrapping around to. But it's like it shows you these characters. It shows you parts of their past. It shows you how they've become what they are, or why they are thinking the way they are. Or in the case of Sylvanas, not thinking.
Exactly, and that's what I think would
but
work
the
best.
Thing is, but the thing, sorry, I know I'm ranting and rambling. But the thing is, what characters do we know that have a history, that have not so much a backstory, but that have a story to them to tell?
Well, it would be probably some of the Grineer bosses would be one of them. You know, like Sarkis Rook.
Rook would be an interesting one. Actually, here's one to think of: the Executioners from Rathum, because they all have a story. Like there's the crazy motherfucker who dual wields quad-barreled shotguns, who, because of an experiment from Tile Regor to try and cure the degenerative disease that the Grineer suffer, because cloning is a crapshoot, it made him, instead of having him be energetic and so on and so forth, they made him sluggish, and then he basically crippled him. But the moment this person felt pain, or they inflicted pain, they became faster, stronger. They became a living, breathing nightmare as far as Grineer are concerned. And basically became fueled by pain. And that would be perfect, like seeing how this character turned into this through like a short trailer would be perfect. Or the various other ones.
Exactly. It can either be any of the bosses from the Grineer, maybe the Corpus. Hell, it could even be as simple as some of the NPCs we meet. Example being,
Teshin.
Like Teshin, Cressatal during the events of what's the word? The Rail creation, for example.
The rebuild.
Yeah, the rebuild. They released a mini trailer about it, and this whole the Grineer want to rebuild it, yada yada yada.
We'd actually get to see Cressatal fight.
Exactly. This is what these trailers, a story trailer like that, would be perfect for events, things. Again, just show us small things that make the Warframe story more alive or more active. Hell, even if you can't, or they're not interested in making trailers, at least create something, a short video or something that shows more of the world in action, or how the world deals outside of the Tenno, and things of that nature.
This is a random ass question, but after the stream, you guys want to do the sortie?
Nah, I'm going to do something else. Anyway, I think that's our cue to basically wrap it up. So, yeah, I think that covers everything. HH, you want to say anything before we close out?
No, not really.
Oh, actually, cool. I would like to say something.
Oh, God.
I mean, of course you do.
From the I know I talk a lot. I'm sorry. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. And this is aimed at every Warframe player out there. If you see someone trying to do things and experimenting with non-conventional builds or non-meta builds, don't give them shit. Let them have their fun. Because we all know we all have a meta build in our back pocket. Even the level or mastery rank 5 scrub.
Slowly looks at Equinox. Mm-hmm.
But we all have our meta trump card in our back pocket. Like me with my stupidly durable Rhino, frickin' HH and Chroma, and Snow with her Trinity. let people experiment. Let people try new things out. And some people find weapons that are considered to be the best weapons of the game to be utter pieces of shit. I know someone who, for a fact, thinks the Tigress Prime is just utter crap. And he utterly loves like things like the Dragoon, things like the fucking Velt, which a lot of people give shit, but it's a solid rifle. So I'm just saying, let people have their fun. And if you want to get serious, say, and be polite about it. Say, hey, this is what we need. If you got it, would you mind bringing it out? And if you're more polite about these kind of things, if you're more willing to work, people will work with you. So that's just my 2 piece there, you know?
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. All right. Well, I guess that covers everything tonight. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to Left for Random Talk episode
23.
23, and we will see you all hopefully next Thursday.
Yeah.
All right.
If the
Take
power
care.
doesn't explode.
I don't know what happened there.
Probably a balloon transformer. Ciao,
Probably.
ciao.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Now it's just me in the audience. I do this at the end of every stream, and I try to do this a little bit more. I removed the link down in the description on YouTube, the donation link, but there is still a creeper face over on Twitch. I'm just going to say it. I've said it multiple times. I'm going to keep saying it. Don't click on it. It doesn't help. What really helps is sharing the links of the stream, getting the word out there. Giving us suggestions on what to talk about next, as long as they have like a reliable source. And we'll talk about it. But for the most part, sharing the links, that helps us all the time. I stream, or at least I try to stream every day. We stream this podcast every Thursday. This week was a very weird week. But yeah, if you feel inclined to subscribe, leave comments, like and share, ring the bell if you're on YouTube. It really does help us out. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. I forgot to play the outro music last week. I will remember this time. I'll see you guys later.